Conservation. My name is Samantha Murray, and I'm the Executive Director of this master's program. Welcome, and thank you for being here. So we are here today to learn about the work that our 23 master's students have completed during their time here at Scripps this year. We're broadcasting live from rainy Scripps Institution of Oceanography at the University of California, San Diego, on ancestral traditional lands of the Kumeyaay people. Today, I would like to acknowledge all California Native American communities who have inhabited California lands and waters for thousands of years and continue to do so today. We at Scripps honor and respect this work of the indigenous people of the Kumeyaay, who are deeply connected to the fish, wildlife, and habitats we study. In the MAS MBC program, we examine our colonial history with the ocean and the continuing inequitable impacts that history has had on the conservation movement. Throughout the year, we interrogate our own bias and our role in perpetuating the marginalization of historically underrepresented communities. We take seriously our responsibility to amplify and uplift the research, science, and knowledge of these communities. It's an extraordinary honor to be here in person with all of you today and to be live streaming to those of you at home. Thank you so much for being here. This group of 23 students started out as strangers. It was only 12 months ago. This was week 2 of a 52-week program, and it shows you the educators, the filmmakers, the marketing experts, the military vets, the photographers, boat captains, scientists, social media influencers, marine ecologists, community organizers, dive instructors, and yes, even an insurance salesman and a PhD credentialed cognitive scientist as they were just starting their journey together here at Scripps. These strangers were all doing things before they came here. They didn't come straight from undergrad, and they had found success in their own right, whether as a writer, a blogger, an activist, or a podcaster. And this is what makes our program special. It makes the work we do here in MAS MBC innovative, because we're all different. We have varied areas of expertise, varied lived experiences. We come from different states, different countries. We speak different languages, and we celebrate these differences. It is these very backgrounds, the fact that our students come in the door with years of life experience, that make our program work. We see all of these qualities as experiential assets that we want to uplift and celebrate together. So when our students are looking at the science, the policy, the economic and social issues of marine conservation together, they're looking at them through multiple lenses. It's a groundbreaking way of tackling the ocean and coastal challenges we face in 2023 and beyond. And it allows our students to take a fresh perspective at solutions to these challenges. So as a result, our program has far-reaching impacts at the local, state, national, and global scale, where we are quite literally transforming the face of ocean conservation leadership, both in approach and representation. Because gone are the days of silver bullet solutions to the challenges we face in conservation on Earth or in the ocean. We cannot affect change on ocean policy without also understanding marine ecology. We cannot protect biodiversity without also enhancing access by nature-deprived communities. And indeed, we cannot face our global emergency on climate without also facing our reckoning on race and equity. So as a result, the work you'll hear about today is innovative. It's not like the kind of work you're going to get in an MS program. You're going to hear about projects where the sky is the limit and students define their own projects. So it starts out, like you might imagine, in a classroom where we meet over the course of the summer 80 or more topical experts and instructors to help us learn. We meet folks who are doing globally important work and have written the papers we all grew up reading. We meet them as humans, real people who can also learn from us. And these relationships with new mentors, heroes, visionaries, they make us better critical thinkers, more inspired to do things in a new way, picking up where they left off. Indeed, these mentors have shaped the Capstone projects you'll see today on climate justice, communities, culture, seafood, and collaborative solutions. We learn by meeting people who work in, on, and under the ocean. And we seed new relationships with folks who go on to serve as critical mentors, capstone chairs, advisors, and essential teachers for the work we do together. We also work in labs, as you might expect. We're at Scripps. And we learn the science by looking at sediment cores, ancient bamboo corals, and by extracting otoliths. We learn on field trips to Kendall Frost Marsh. We learn about the potential of blue carbon in sequestering carbon from the atmosphere and the impacts of sea level rise on local communities. We go to Torrey Pines to learn about the geology of this area, of this place, and the history of this place. And we get backstage passes to the Nat. We take research cruises on the RV Sproul, where we do biodiversity sampling at different depths, and we look at trends over the years that we've collected data. We learn in classrooms and labs and under the water, but we also remember our bodies, and we connect to the earth to help us be better storytellers. We go to Catalina for a week. It feels like more than a week. So many memories happen there. We learn at Catalina, again in the classroom, from wonderfully engaging experts and teachers and from each other as peers. And we also learn by getting underwater and doing the science ourselves. We lay transect tape, we feel the surge, and we compare what happens inside and outside of marine protected areas. We observe geological features above the surface to better understand how this island came to be. And we learn about science by using art too. We make seaweed pressings to support our understanding and connect in new ways with algae. We use art science to better appreciate plankton too. We do a plankton tow at night, we do one in the morning, and we compare what we see in the day and the night, and we draw the differences. And we also have fun at Catalina. This is Dr. Dick Norris, a preeminent geologist here at Scripps. We learn about social media filters and the power of gamifying ocean conservation. This is a little bit of an inside joke for our students. And Dane, it did cause me to wonder if this is where you got the inspiration for your own project by gamifying ocean conservation. We continue to connect as humans and as teammates because fun is important too, and it can lead to collaboration down the line. And when our time at Catalina came to a close, the seeds of collaboration were planted and the connections were made. The year goes on. Some of us went to the Conference of Parties, which is the UN climate negotiations this year that took place in Egypt. And many of us went to an annual Ocean Conservation Lobby Day in Sacramento a couple months ago, where we learn about the bills that have been introduced in California related to coastal and ocean conservation, and we talked to legislators about these bills. And over the course of this year, all the while, we are collaborating. In our ocean law and policy class, in our economics of the environment class, people are working together, they're leaning on each other, they're making films together. And you'll see today an astonishing amount of collaboration in the projects that will be presented today. They narrate each other's films. They narrate each other's stories. They travel to the Maldives and to Baja together to support each other in making the films. They make films about each other. And they beta test each other's experiments and their projects. There's an extraordinary amount of collaboration that comes with this cohort, and I'm excited for you to see it today. The year goes on, and a lot of our students live in grad housing. This cohort has been learning together, leaning on each other, and also cultivating community among themselves in hot tubs and at the barbecue. It looks to me like grad housing is a resort. But all I know is it has resulted in a whole lot of collaboration, which was essential because, in all honesty, it was a challenging year. There was an extraordinary amount of challenging, painful, difficult events and circumstances co-occurring this academic year, on top of the winding down of a global pandemic. We have all been forever changed by the last 3 years, And in addition, there have been international geopolitical events that couldn't help but affect those of us here in the classroom. There's also been an extraordinary amount of anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ legislation that continues to threaten the safety of our students, our alumni, our mentors, our friends, our families. There was a strike just here on campus that was extraordinarily disruptive while also being appropriate that changed the feeling of this campus. And there has been an ongoing attack on reproductive rights and healthcare that has also had an impact on our campus. So these realities continued throughout the year on top of everything else, and it has been challenging, but this is precisely what inspires me so much about this program and these particular students and today's symposium. In times that feel hard, can cause anxiety, can feel hopeless, there is so much hope in this room today. This room is brimming with hope, in fact. And it's not ignorant hope, it's not head in the sand hope, it's well-reasoned, informed, rational hope, and to me, that's exciting. So the 23 students presenting today have diverse lived experiences, unique identities, and varied perspectives, and that inspires hope. You might ask where this hope comes from. How do students stay positive, stay inspired? And I know from working here the last 7 years that every cohort has their own personality, its own thing that makes them tick. Some years are full of musicians who can sing. Well, the spoiler is, I don't think it's singing that motivates this cohort. It was a clip of some karaoke we did at Catalina. It was an NSYNC song, and yeah, I don't think that's what makes this cohort tick. This is a clip of Eric laughing. Well, there it is. This cohort is not particularly quiet or soft-spoken. Some years use surfing to connect with the ocean and to find hope, but I wouldn't say that really defines this group either. This year is more divers than it is surfers. Maybe it's dancing. It might be dancing, but it's definitely dogs. There's a wonderful group of dogs in this cohort, and they're all extraordinarily well-behaved, but I know that it is art. It was so clear to me this summer when I stopped by to see the films that students had been working on that this group of students has such a unique perspective and an intuition when it comes to understanding science through art. And I've seen it time and time again, not only in the films that they've made, but in the work that they've done to lead on Salty Cinema, which is an art science film event that happens twice a year here at Scripps, that these students sort of took over and led with. They have shown themselves as artists over and over again. They even created a space for anyone on campus to be inspired by the world-renowned, powerful Scripps archives that hold preserved species, some of which are over 100 years old, to come and sketch, paint, and doodle in order to better connect with the ocean. I truly believe that this connection between art and science brings a new way of thinking and looking at the world and at the ocean, and it's extraordinary. And I'm grateful for that gift that this cohort has brought to Scripps and to me and will bring to the world. You are artists. It may not resonate for all of you coming in, but it's contagious, and I see it in all of you. So it's been extraordinary to see you all leaning on each other, working together, inspiring creativity, vulnerability, and joy in each other. That creativity, that imagination, and that hope are required as we move through these years to come. You were professionals before you came to us, and now, in this short blink of an eye, I've seen you evolve into something that I think will propel you into the next level, and the sky is truly the limit. I can't wait to see what these seeds that we've planted here at Scripps translate to after today. But for today, the audience is going to hear about the research, the games, the books, the films, the management plans, the roadmaps, the economic analysis, and the story maps you've created. I know that everyone in this audience and watching online will be impressed But more importantly, I know you'll find them to be authentic, innovative, earnest, and impassioned. They mean it. So we're so proud to see what you do after today. We will cheer you on from afar. We will watch you join our awe-inspiring MAS MBC alumni network as you lead at the highest levels around the world. And I know you will exert your own influence to support a world that is safe, equitable, inhabitable, and livable for all, and that you will use art to do that as a part of it, art and science together, and that will matter. So thanks for letting us share this blink of an eye with you. We hope you look back on it fondly and that it will open your world in the same way that your creativity, your imagination, and your innovation have opened our minds. I just want to take a moment to thank students, Elena, Nikki, Annalisa, Allison, Allie, and Keenan for the photos I used today. Thanks to all the facility folks for allowing us to use these facilities. Thanks to the PhD students who mentor our students, to our alumni, to our faculty, to the SAO department, to Meg Emity, Pitar Nastosky, Vice Chancellor Margaret Leinen, Allison Kellum, Allison Rowe, absolutely Hannah Tannenbaum. Can we get a round of applause for Hannah? Hannah came on this year and is an alum of the program, and she is the brilliant, organized, intuitive, and just wonderful magician that we really needed this year and didn't even know we needed. So I'm so grateful to have you here, Hannah. I love working with you. And I also want to thank our co-chairs, Dr. Greg Rouse and Dr. Patty Ahn, for being here as well. More on that later, but could not do this program without you. The interdisciplinary nature and the brilliance that you bring to this program is palpable. So a big round of applause.